Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. Okay, the first thing I want to point out, for those of you who've been watching my videos for a while, new people aren't going to get it. Look, I dressed up nice for you guys. See that? It's like a collared shirt and everything. Because normally I'm in scruffies because I'm always working. So I did that to make a point. I told you guys I'd do it one time. And yeah, as soon as this video's done, I'm getting back in my scruffies because I got work to do. Yes? I just thought I'd point that out. Find it was funny. I don't know. So in this video, I'm going to try to combine a few things. And it's about hurricane preparedness. So there's a hurricane. It's heading for Florida right now. I have friends and family that are there. I've already been in contact with them. But I figure it's a good time to go over something like that. And for those of you that are new, I've talked about how preps for preparedness, they stack. And I'm going to give you guys some examples because it's time for me to go over some preps and verify that the batteries are good and things haven't expired. And I'm going to show you how they stack so that you don't have to be overwhelmed when it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get ready for a contingency like a hurricane. Now, I've mentioned before that getting ready for one thing will help you be ready for something else. And if you just want to be into preparedness, then you'd be surprised what you can be prepared for, or the steps that you're in to be prepared for it. Yes? So what I did was I went out on the internet and I looked for checklists for hurricanes, and we got .gov and we got FEMA, and I went to Florida's Gov, they've got them. There's all of these, but basically they refer back to this. I printed it out for you. And so this is at ready.gov, FEMA. And it's a checklist on a basic emergency kit. Even if you click on the hurricane one, it goes to a basic one. So, and most of the other sites go to the same thing. So this is like the one that the government, Red Cross, Florida government, I think I went to Arkansas, they had the same one. So this is the one we're going to be looking at. Yes? Yes. Now while we're going over that checklist, as I said, it's time to look at things. If you have kits or if you have preps, we'll call them prep kits, whatever, you have to go through them periodically. And so I'm going to do the same thing and show you how things stack, killing 2-3 birds with one scum. So if you've been here before, you've seen that a car kit, an emergency kit that you should keep in your car, it's a little bag that's got stuff in it. I believe I've gone over it before. I'm going to go over it right now because I've got to check the batteries in the flashlights and the stuff, see if anything's expired, first aid kits. And I'm going to show you that you don't need to be overwhelmed when it's like, I have to be ready for a hurricane. Well, in the case of the car kit, a lot of people aren't going to argue that you should have some sort of kit in your car. And there's checklists out there. The government's got one. Red Cross has got one. Got .gov, whatever. You can go and get them. Those are all on you. But the point being is, if you get something ready for your car, and that's what I'm going to do here, if you have just a kit for your car, how prepared are you for a hurricane? Now, if you've been here before, you've seen this. This is the car kit that is in the vehicle of the lovely lady in my life. And I'm going to go over that. Also, you've probably seen this. Now, this, some people would say, is like the next level of preparedness. This is a get-home bag. It's also in her car. And it's in case something happens with the roads or the vehicle or whatever, and she can't use the vehicle to get home. She throws on this backpack, and it has the stuff to help her get home. Yes? So, a basic level thing that most people would agree on, an emergency kit in your car. And maybe the next level, some may not agree. It depends on where your journey is in preparedness. That get home bag, it's again not that big of a deal, but if we combine these two, we'll start with this one and work up to this one. How can you be prepared for a hurricane, which is huge? So again, it's stacking, and we're gonna run through it. Yes? Yes. Okay, so off camera, I separated everything out of the car kit, and I moved the stuff over. Because this is for a car kit, this stuff is not on the list for a hurricane. However, these things are. So I'm going to show you that we've already started. We've already started getting ready for a hurricane by just having a basic car kit in the back of your car. Yes? I'm going to point you down here, and we're going to go over a few of these things real quick. Okay? Yes. Now, I want to be clear, you guys are down here, that the things that aren't on this list that are in this bag aren't necessarily disposable to a hurricane. There's still things you could use, like ponchos and tools and work gloves and chem lights. These things could probably, maybe, still be used in the case of a hurricane. However, they aren't on the list. So, real fast, what is on the list that we've already got covered by just having a basic emergency car kit are non-perishable foods, fire extinguisher, flashlights, extra batteries, first aid kit. It also calls for dust masks, which are in the first aid kit, and emergency blankets. Yes? So we've already checked a lot of the things off our list, and we haven't even begun to prepare for a hurricane. But yet, we have. You see how it works so far? Yay. Okay, so I've had an opportunity to go through the bag. I've checked the batteries, the flashlights, expiration dates on everything, make sure everything's working, and it is. And that's something you should do periodically. Every once in a while, you should check and make sure that the stuff that you have for contingency are ready for you and working so it doesn't cause another contingency, for lack of a better term. Yes? Yes, so always go through your stuff once in a while, put it on a calendar or whatever. Yes? Just make sure you do it. Now, we've already gone through that, which everyone, I would hope, would agree is a basic item to have, a bag in your car for contingencies, a basic one. And then this is the next step, some people might say, and that is a get-home bag. So both of these are kept in the car, and I would like to think if there was a hurricane that my car is probably going to be located where I am. That's why I'm using these premises, and that's how we're starting this. So I'm going to take everything out of here, double check it, and then we're going to run the checklist again and see how close we are being prepared for a hurricane. Yes? Yes. Okay, so the get home bag. I've gone and I've just taken out the stuff that's on the checklist. You guys don't need to see the rest of it. Really, it's a couple other things that could be used. However, let's just focus on what's actually on the checklist and we actually have on hand. Yes? So, again, more food. And another reason why you should go through this is there's energy bars in here, and these are going to be changed out. That's why you should go through it periodically, every once in a while, double check on your stuff. We have water. We have a metal water drinking container, and that's to help purify water. That's a different story. We have more flashlights, a headlight, flashlights, more spare batteries. We have more food, if I mentioned that. On the checklist, it says a hand-cranked NOAA radio. It's inside here. I've showed you that, guys, before. I'm not going to break it out, but it's one of those emergency radios, little hand crank on it. You can do your thing. Yes, it's in here. I'm not taking it out. We also have another emergency blanket. We have small first aid kit. We have more gloves and masks that it calls for. It's not on the list, but another chem light if we want to use it. And then it also calls for cash, to have cash on hand, because ATMs might be down, power's down. And I've showed you this before. Inside here is cash and small bills, not a lot, and a prepaid Visa, where ATMs might be down, but if they're little things working, so not necessarily in a hurricane situation, but the cash is in here. Yes? And I'm going to put this all away, and we're going to put this in tie this all up in a bow. Okay? Now, a couple items that are on the list that I didn't point out to you, and I should edit my videos different, reshoot things, but that's not what I do, is there's also an emergency whistle in here, and there is a change of clothes. There's always a change of clothes in the get-home bag, because you don't know what you're wearing when something actually happens. So, and those are two other things that were on the nifty little list that we printed out, and that everybody seems to be going off of. Okay? So, the point of this was to show you that prep stack, so something very basic, can get you a few steps towards something larger like a hurricane preparedness. The next one up will get you a few steps more, and so you're like 70%, 80% of the way there. And that way things aren't overwhelming, and you're not like, oh my gosh. No, it's like baby steps. It's just one thing at a time, one step at a time. Yes? That is preparedness. Okay, a couple other things about this hurricane. As I mentioned, I have friends and family there, and I've been in contact with them. Now, I would like to think that the people I know, especially my family members, we've talked about it, and they're getting ready for things. But a case in point is, I was talking to one of my sons. He's there. And all he needed was to go and top off. Remember I said sometimes you should have everything. You just need to top off some items, double check. So, batteries. So, some of the batteries he had needed to be replaced. Okay, this happens. He went to the store. This was a couple of days ago. So imagine The hurricane has just gone past Cuba right now. So they've still got, I think it's tomorrow when it's actually supposed to be getting up there, or later than that. So it's not like this is a last minute thing. This was a couple days ago. And he went to a major store and there were no batteries. The locusts had come in and taken everything, which is an indicator, one indicator, that people aren't prepared. You need to be prepared for things. If everybody had come in to just get a few batteries, they wouldn't have swarmed the store and they wouldn't have taken everything. Yes? Yes. Okay, another case in point is his neighbors, one of my family members' neighbors, they're all from California. He's like, everybody around me is from California. They're all leaving California, moving to Florida because California sucks. Those are their words, not my words. Okay, he wouldn't talk. And all his neighbors are like, yeah, California sucks. We don't want to be there anymore. We're moving to someplace different. You guys can put in your own words difference between California and Florida. But they're freaking out. They've never been in a hurricane. And yet, if you look at the FEMA checklist, there's not a big difference between a hurricane and an earthquake. And you would think that they would be prepared. So they haven't been practicing preparedness back when they were in California. So that's silly. If they had practiced it there, then it doesn't matter what the contingency is. If you are prepared for it, you're prepared, or you're 70% prepared, or you're 80% prepared. And he says they are losing their minds. Well, guys, that's what preparedness is all about, is so you don't lose your mind. Other people, there's not much you can do about it, okay? So you have this stuff so that if you go to the store and you may need a few things and it's gone, or there's only a few, you're not panicking. You're like, okay, cool beans, I got this covered. You know, maybe I needed a few extra things, but I got it. I got it. You see what I'm saying? So that's preparedness. This is not about doomsday prepping stuff. This is just regular stuff. Everyone, in my opinion, should be doing, because you know these things are going to happen. Why are you not taking care of your business? Okay, I don't know. I don't know if someone can explain it to me. Probably not, but that's the way it is. Okay, so let's see. What else? We're just going to go ahead and tie a bow into hurricane preparedness. We didn't go into it in depth that much. Where you get the checklist, it's online. You can get it from .gov. They're all the same. They all link to the same ones, the ones that I found. Florida State, Arkansas State, I think Mississippi State, I don't know if I mentioned that, and the Red Cross. Yes? Yes. All right, guys, I'm glad you hung out with me in my dress-up video, kind of a more serious video, because there is a hurricane coming, and I hope the best for everyone. I do. And sticking with me by looking at these bags again, if you've already seen them, but hopefully you get the lesson. If you're new to this, this is how preps stack. When you're being prepared for something, you're prepared for something else, like 70%. You're prepared for something bigger by 60%, something bigger by 50%. All you got to do is start small. For those of you who already know this is like reaffirmation. You guys already know these things. But I'm going to do the small ones and then work my way up. As I mentioned in my last video, I sometimes forget that I don't understand why people don't think like me. So it doesn't make any sense, but that's a different story. Yeah, so thanks for sticking with me. And hopefully this video is not as long as the last one. That was a torture. I know I did it intentionally a little bit. Don't judge me. And also, remember, I've got some inputs. I'm looking for more inputs on the $25. I'll go buy it. I'll go abuse it. Tell me what you want me to test out. Yes? Go back and watch this video if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, with that, I need to go change, and I got yard work and stuff to do. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you are happy. I hope you are positive, and I hope you are getting prepared.